Episode 25 of the Utility Players podcast. We've made it 25, maybe not weeks, but we've made it 27 weeks recording, 25 episodes. Welcome, boys.
Yo.
It hasn't been 25 straight weeks, hasn't it? I never thought about that. I thought it has been.
26, I think. I misspoke. Because I thought I missed.
Yeah, we missed a few here and there, but hey, 25 episodes, that's impressive as is, so I don't even think it matters.
I've been trying to track it. Yeah, I've been trying to track it with my pregnancy. And so, damn. It's pretty close
what's the ratio with that? How many weeks is she compared to how many?
Yeah, we're at 36 weeks.
36? Okay.
Yeah. So
in there.
The final
4
countdown.
more weeks.
Yeah, any minute now.
No.
Listen.
You're going to stay in there the whole time.
Not ready.
Make sure you're ripe.
She needs to stay in there for 4 more weeks.
It's going to happen when you least expect it.
No. Nope. It's going to be the
middle of a podcast episode.
The day or week of that it's supposed to happen. That's how everything in my life is set up right now. It needs to happen then. So
he's like, don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
If it happens earlier, it happens earlier. I mean, at this point, it can happen any second. So, and the way she moves, it feels like it's about ready to go. Who knows?
So we were just talking a little bit how it was the last time all 4 of us recorded was episode 21. So, let's chop it up, in the beginning of the episode, then we'll kind of allegedly, and then we'll kind of lead into other topics. But, what have you guys kind of learned from this whole process of us creating or us kind of jumping on and doing this that none of us have really done on this type of level where it's, 4 people, many episodes, a long hour each episode? Talk to us.
Shit, bro. I mean, just a podcast in general is tough, but I mean, just the way that we've been able to do it, the 4 of us, 4 different guys, 4 different dudes in different places of the country, just kind of getting together, chopping it up. I've never met Ben in my life. Just kind of just
have, but they all want to.
Right, exactly. And, for the amount of time we've done it and not having to cut it up or just doing what we've been doing for that period of time has been pretty good. And just kind of just learning how to work with other people's schedules and communicate better. And I mean, running Instagram pages and Twitter pages and trying to promote and do all that kind of shit, that shit's harder than it seems. I don't know how these IG models do it, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
I second that. I mean, especially with the social media. Full disclosure, I don't do anything with it. So shout out to Danny, Ray, Nick, and I appreciate all of you guys handling that portion of it. It does take a lot of time. I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed is the trying to wiggle this in each week, timing wise, with everything else that's going on in your lives. Fortunately, whatever you're looking at, this isn't our full-time jobs. So trying to work around that. Again, 4 different people, 4 different states, making it this long, I think is impressive. I do know, was thinking about that. I know a couple people that I grew up with or just around the area that have started podcasts or tried to do this with more than one person. And one of them with 4 people made it 7 episodes, no longer exists. So we're at 25. And the other one made it 11, and then they tapped out. So I think that shows how difficult it is. And so, nothing but props to you guys for sticking through this, through the ups and downs. And it's a lot of things that you see each week that you need to work on or fix. And it's just a process. Don't want to give any love to Joel Embiid out there, but there is something to a process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I echo everything you guys said. I think definitely for us, it's 4 different guys, 4 different lives. Whether it's Danny starting his new job, Ray's vacation, me being me, Ben being about to be a dad, You know, unfortunate circumstances we ran into. I think we've managed it pretty well, and you know, everyone has a say, and we try to make it work. Some weeks it does, some weeks it doesn't, but the show's always gone on, and we've made the best of it. And hey, whether it's 90 people or 5 people, we still got 5 people listening.
Yeah.
For real.
Absolutely. That's
And
you know, I was just gonna end it with we'll kind of, you know, for the people that don't know us personally, because we do have people now listening, and that's kind of where we tested our limit with, you know, the friends and family listen to us, which we'll always be grateful for, but it's kind of the people that we interact on social media or people that we probably never interacted with that listen to the show. Obviously, all 4 of us are from different backgrounds, and now we're kind of living in different cities and states. The fact that we are able to do this you know, on Zoom, you know, and come together. It definitely isn't easy. I thought it would be a lot more smoother, you know, all right, everybody devout time, energy, but it does take a lot before, mentally, during to do the podcast. And then the after, whoever does whatever, it doesn't matter. It's collective and, you know, it's a collective process. So it definitely is a lot more challenging, little by little than I thought going into it. But we're still all having fun. So as long as we keep having fun, we're going to keep doing the episodes. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Malcolm Gladwell at all, the writer, or any of his books, but one of his books, you know, he talks in there about the power of 10,000 hours. Basically takes all these experts and everything, you know, in their fields, whether it be musicians, athletes, whatever, across the spectrum, and then examines, you know, what was the process to make him there. And it all boils down to practice, putting in the time and work consistently, always. Nothing happens quickly. They just continuously work at it and got better and better and better and better. If you look at any of the podcasts that we listen to, the big ones, I pay attention to what episode are they in. And unless they're new with, you know, a new podcast where they're backed by, they have a bunch of money, or they might be in some sort of field before.
Exactly.
We're talking they're in episode hundreds. You look at, you know, Joe Rogan, we're talking, I think he's at like 1,600 plus episodes now. And so it just takes a long time to get used to it and kind of get your feel. We don't have the luxury of being just one single person that when we want to go chat and do something, we run downstairs to our basement, log on, and just put our own, you know, stuff out there. We have to coordinate with 3 other people all the time, and it's difficult, but we're still here.
Did you know that Emily was pregnant when we started the podcast, or did you find out later on?
Did he find out on episode, like, it was very early? I believe it was the first 5 or 6 episodes, maybe 3.
Well,
right?
I knew she was pregnant around Christmas time, right? Because that's when I told you, Nick.
Well, then we didn't.
Yeah,
start
I was in
yet.
Florida.
Yeah, okay.
for years.
Yeah.
Well, when she first announced it, I think for it is what you're referring to. That's when we first. So yeah.
So that's when
we started like gathering stuff then, and then we started in what, January, February?
February.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was another thing that I also wanted to like say. It's like we've all had like, I guess it's big life changing events or things where we have to move on or find something out, you know, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Like, for example, I got a new job, which was great. You know, you are about to have a kid, raise engagement, like Gravy's engagement, like all this stuff has like, we've all like leveled up while we've done this. So
that is pretty trippy if you think of it. In a short amount of time, I look at this as the podcast era for me. So whenever I remember time periods, because, you know, time, it's 2021, it's July, but like, you know, when somebody says this happened 2 months ago, you can't imagine. You think it's 6 months ago. So I always refer it in like, I got fired during that period. I started a podcast. So like, this is the podcast era for me. And you're right. It's 26 weeks into it. A lot has happened for 4 individuals.
Yeah. Right.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's bad. It is kind of crazy, but
it's true here. I think I told the world, you know, about the pregnancy, you know, on this podcast that was going too. Yeah. So you're right. It's been pretty cool. It's crazy.
Go ahead, Gravy. Anything to add on that? Because I want this to be an open forum.
I was thinking. I started my new position like a month after we began, and then Ford got his job. We both got engaged. We've, you know, been with the pregnancy. We've definitely evolved over these last 26 weeks. So
Right.
just going back to our other point, all things that, we saw coming ahead, like engagement wise, not job wise, we still managed to be here for 25 episodes, regardless of the things that came across, our laps. So, hey, shout out
For
to
real.
us.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah, it's
like
a
I said,
good reflective.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying it's impressive because, like, man, I don't know too many people that can commit to anything for 25 weeks. That's 6 months. That's half the year, and
Yeah.
I mean, for us to do it on a platform to where we're at and just kind of just talking shit and being able to get where we have, that's awesome. And I mean, I can't wait to see what more stuff we can come up with and do in the next few months and shit like that. So this is just the beginning, I feel like.
Consistent reminder when we go through challenges or anything that, we can overcome everything. We made it this far. The Forrest Gump model, I just started running.
That movie still lives on.
Life is like a box of
I ran
chocolates.
this far. Might as well keep going.
I was gonna
Might as well
I was
keep
gonna see
going.
if Ben was gonna pull out another quote from that movie that I didn't know about, like somewhere random, like Lieutenant Dan once said.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got to rewatch the movie because I don't remember.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I got to rewatch it.
One of the greatest stories of all time.
It is pretty interesting how that movie just always gets brought up for analogies, quotes. It's like timeless in that regard, where you can always refer back to it.
Have you guys ever seen on Netflix this show called The Movies That Made Us?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've watched it though. Is it more of a documentary or a series?
Kinda. It's like a series, and each season they do 4 different famous movies, and they basically take you through the details of how that movie was actually made, even to the writing of the script. It is incredible, and Forrest Gump's one of them, and it just to see how, and that's even kind of translates back into the show, right? Is because if you watch something like that, like Forrest Gump, and I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but if you see what the story was originally about and then how it evolved over time based on things they ran into and the final product, you're like, wow. So I definitely would watch that. I mean,
that's one of my favorite things to watch is like how things are made, whether it's music, a song, an album, a movie. That always intrigues me. Like genius at its highest level, whether it's music or
the original Home Alone, or like Home Alone, that one.
Oh, what a well put together movie.
Yeah. Most of the entire movie that you see, this is going to be the one spoiler I'm going to give you, because it's going to get you guys, it's going to get you 3 excited to then go see this, and maybe our listeners too, if they haven't seen it, is most every scene in that entire movie when they're in the house, it's not actually in a house.
In a house.
They built the house inside a swimming pool in an abandoned school.
I did see that. I think you sent that to us maybe during this podcast era at one point.
That's nuts.
Wild. Right. Wild.
Podcast era.
Podcast era. That's forever I think of like WWE, how it's like, gravy, how it's the ruthless aggression and attitude era. It's like, this is my era in life where it's 7 months into the new year. I got fired, had so much time to like fill my time so I don't do dumb stuff. And it's like a podcast was birthed. And now kind of like, it's like a documentary. It's crazy because eventually I do want to go in and listen to episode 1. I think me and Ford did that a couple of times. You came over. We'll just click on episode 3 and just let it rock and just see what we were talking.
I played a random episode.
Yeah. It's like,
I also hate listening to myself.
What we talked about.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
It is a little weird. And none of us, all 4 of us weren't those type of people. Probably 4 out of all 4 of us were actually made videos on Instagram. I never made a selfie Instagram of myself. Like I know Ford and his brother always fucked around with shit, like making funny videos, which I love. The barbershop where he slaps him. You know what I mean? He takes the Hennessy bottle. That's an epic one, yeah. But like, I've never did anything like that. So like the fact, like looking at myself when we record or hearing myself back, it'll always be awkward. But like, this was the first thing I've ever done for that in 31 years. And that's not that, most people make a lot of videos on social media. So it's normal,
and I'm not making this up. The thing I've most enjoyed is tracking the progression of my beard when I had the goatee. And so when I was at the barbershop, when I was at the barbershop 2 weeks ago, I'm like talking to my barber, and I'm like, I don't remember when I shaved my beard, and I was like, oh shit, let me go look at let me go look at when we recorded, and I had the goatee because I shaved it after. So it's funny, it's been 3 months.
I know we only see this much of our bodies, but I know we could talk about when we look back on episodes, you can look back on where each individual were based on what we talk about, but also like physically. So like you say the beard, I'm glad we could only track this much of our bodies or something and not the lower half, because then you kind of really know where we are and like, damn,
for sure.
20 pounds since episode 10.
I've been in the gym. Chill.
No, we've all been.
We've been on that Fort David program.
That workout is serious.
That I will say, since the podcast has started, we don't have to physically get right, but we have been. You know, I'm like down 8-9 pounds in the last month, so I'm happy about that. Man. Ironically, lost weight on vacation, which is not something you should do, but I moved around a shit ton.
Yeah, you did a lot of walking.
Shout out to Ray's tapeworm. You know.
Hey, however you get the results done, right? Anything else you guys want to kind of talk about, whether it's individually or kind of together before we jump into some topics? It's good that we got to lead off for the people that don't get to know us too much on a personal level that listen to us.
I mean,
anything?
If we're just like anything personal,
this is open forum type. No, well, before we get into topics, that's what I was saying. Anything else to add about anything at all? Cool.
I'm tripled up on one of my NFTs. I bought it for $222. Someone's offering me $630, but I ain't selling that shit. So
now for the people that care about your pockets, since you've been buying NFTs more over the last 3 to 6 months, have you cashed in? Are you in the green? Are you in the red?
I haven't really.
I'm curious myself.
I haven't sold any, to be honest. Okay. This is the only one that's really gotten any offers on it because they're partnering up with some other company that makes NFTs as well, and they're gonna do an airdrop, which is whoever holds that NFT in their wallet gets a free one. And they're doing some other projects for it. So no, I mean, I put quite a few dollar bills into it, but I haven't sold anything yet, honestly.
In the investment period, get it.
Yeah, in the investment period. Yeah, I always thought you should start your own separate Instagram or Twitter channel. Call it Fort NFT.
Fort NFT. Fort. My name on the OpenSea platform or whatever is ETH Fort.
ETH Fort.
ETH Fort. All right, then. You got BTF, EHT.
Fort Summer.
Hey, we're expanding. Anything else, Ben, on yours before we get into some stuff?
No, I have a few things, but they're sports related. So.
All right, cool. What's up, Greg? What you can say?
No, real quick, because when you said ETH, I obviously thought of Ethereum. And if anyone's been documenting my life in the Ethereum world,
we all have.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Hey, we've been back up lately. We've been around.
That's funny.
We got up to 2,400 yesterday.
Oh yeah, last time you mentioned them, you said you were quite negative about it.
We're out of the thousands. So last night I'm at softball. We're in the dugout, and Ben knows Brogan. Brogan's like, "Oh damn, Ethereum's tanking," and I almost broke my neck turning around. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I grabbed my phone, checked Coinbase. I'm like, you fucking idiot! It's only 2,100. I thought, hey, we were down to 800 again, and I'm back to almost jumping off the ledge here.
You got to be careful with how people analyze the market, because it's all subjective, or in perspective, where you could be like, oh wow, I lost so much on that stock, and it's like it only dropped $1. It's all about how much you got skin in the game.
Yep, I look at percentages. I look at the market over a whole, how it's performed over a whole, and then try to get a picture there, and then other little things. But
of course,
it's gonna be a. I think it's gonna be a good winter fall, Nick. So.
Yeah, I like that. I have no choice but to root for that opinion, Ben. So I hope your right time's 100.
I'm preparing for a good fall.
Yeah, let's go. So not too many sport topics, but obviously the Olympics going on. We got NFL camp starting this week, NBA draft this week, and as well as some UFC, main event card announced. We'll start off with Team USA losing to France. We all thought that the preseason was the preseason, quote unquote, that, once they got to Tokyo, the USA team would be, sharp, and they weren't. Obviously, they lost for the first time in Olympic play since 2004. If you guys watch it? I know it was early in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you guys watch the highlights, I'm just seeing a lot of empty, open missed shots.
Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing a lot on this team. What do you guys see?
For anyone who doesn't know, those games are replayed like later in the afternoon. If you do miss them in the morning,
the CAC.
Yeah, on the CAC.
Or
NBC too. Like the France game, I didn't watch it in the morning. I just kind of like kept along with it on ESPN. But then I rewatched it at night on NBC, and dudes are just playing iso ball. It's either iso ball or handoffs. It's ugly. Yeah. Dudes are trying to go one-on-one. I get it. We have the best players in the world, but it's not going to work.
Team.
I personally
not on that team.
No, for sure. I think it might be time for overreaction here. Might be time for Pop to, see.
and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I saw a tweet, and I mean, I think Pop is a great coach, and this isn't taking anything away from him, because he's got his accolades. He's cemented. It was a tweet saying that we should kind of stop giving this USA head coach basketball position as someone who's done everything in the NBA world and whatnot, and instead give it to someone who wants to move up and has the energy
and wants to learn and evolve
and wants to learn. Because that's kind of what the teams are doing. Exactly, someone who's going to coach. And also, I mean, when you give up 28 points to Evan Fournier, you're not winning a basketball game. So
you give up 28 points in a regular NBA season game, double overtime, 1 point lead, and no, I understand Fournier is hot or cold, but damn, come on, Evan Fournier.
You don't. I mean, we've talked about it before, and I think everybody knows the European. The world basketball game is different than it was 20 years ago. It's way better, especially if you look at a lot of the NBA players that have won awards, MVPs, any type of awards. Look at draft picks over the past 10 years. You'll see it there. So it's going to be a tougher route, I think, for the American team anyway. Then you add in the factor that we don't have our best players there. We have a few of them, but I mean, and they all say that's skeptical in terms of, are some of them fully healthy, not having the best players there. So you're going to have to kind of bring your A game. So I'm not overreacting to the France loss. I do think it's kind of pathetic that they lost that bad to France. Where they scored 76 points. I mean, come on. I mean,
I think it's 10-minute quarters.
It is.
Yeah.
And to be fair, with the rules, they kind of play into Rudy Gobert's hands.
Yep.
And it's just like, everything you said is correct. It's also a more physical style of play. A lot of hand checking allowed.
Yeah, hand checking for sure.
The goaltending rule, I think, comes into play too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there is goaltending.
These guys are all used to playing in the NBA.
Yeah, there is no goaltending.
Everything's a foul.
Right, I know.
So, and it's not going to be like this.
To go along with the point with Coach Pop, Coach Pop had to coach guys that are already Hall of Famers in their own right at that time, and this team isn't that. These are guys that do need to be developed a little bit. And I'm not saying Dame has to be developed, but I mean, as far as playing this style of play, need to be developed. A Kobe didn't need to develop into this. LeBron, they're world class, like class of the class. These guys aren't it. And I love that. I didn't hear that Coach Pop take because I haven't been paying attention to ESPN this week, but it's a good point. A development guy that wants to get into the international game that maybe has some experience might be needed moving forward, because these teams have caught up, and we keep saying that every 4 years. Oh, Europe has caught up. This is the first year we could literally say and unequivocally Europe and the rest of the world has caught up to the game.
look at the rosters of all the other European teams. I mean, they are just stacked full of NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and so
those
Hard to find
countries are
teams without.
working. You're
Yeah.
not playing another team. You're playing another country that's preparing for you for 4 years.
Exactly. Yep.
It can take you off.
Speaking of the
I love
transition,
the dramatic.
the transition points that we slide into sometimes are almost as good as, you know, Deshaun Watson into
Here we
massage
go.
therapist DMs.
Do we have a ticker? How many?
Yeah.
Where's
But-
the Deshaun Watson ticker? We haven't brought it out in a while.
Speaking of the Olympics, boys, I've been watching and thinking about something, and I'm wondering your take, seriously wondering your take, because I don't know if I know how to feel about this yet. But if you paid attention, I'm going to throw somebody's name out. If you've noticed or haven't noticed, but Jahlil Okafor, obviously, I think all three of you are aware of, ex-Duke player, didn't really cut it that well in the NBA. He is playing on the Nigerian national team.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you paid attention to the Slovenian team. There's a guy named Mike Toby who played at Virginia that is on the Slovenia team.
You look
Now.
like Mike Toby.
Yeah, I know, right? Now,
I don't know.
Come on, bro.
examining the situation and trying to think about it. I understand the Jahlil situation where he is, I think, second or third generation Nigerian. But Jahlil was also born in America, raised in America, played for American high school, college, NBA teams, has done everything over here, and is now going to join the Nigerian team. The Mike Toby guy, born in America, New York.
Iowa.
No,
I'm
it's
just
New
kidding.
York.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
He's
I'm
from
kidding.
New York. Played high school basketball here, played at University of Virginia, tried to make it in the NBA, didn't make it. And then I think like 2 months ago gets a Slovenian passport, gets on the national team. I don't know how to feel about all this stuff, and wondering what your take is on these players joining these other teams. I understand the heritage aspect there, but they are, for the most part, second and third generation people from those countries. And I'm just, if I'm thinking about the Olympics, and the Olympics are the celebration and competition of these nations with each other, but yet they're allowing a lot of other players to come in and play for these teams. And in my mind, this is the thought about it, is they're taking a spot from somebody that is maybe born, raised in Nigeria, plays for maybe some Nigerian basketball team on that team, for them to live their own dream there. Like if Nigerian team, if you've seen the team, it is stacked, by the way. If that team wins it all, gets a gold medal, I mean, it's not really going back to Nigeria, right? Because Jahlil's got one. And again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just wondering what your guys' opinions are.
You got a few Heat players too on that team. So
yeah. Precious and Kendrick, right?
I know Precious is on there.
Achua.
They got Gabe Vincent.
Dinwiddie,
And,
he was on it. If he was healthy, I think he was signed to them more.
Who?
Dinwiddie was already
okay.
was going to play for them, but he's
Yep.
not playing, obviously.
I think I don't have too many thoughts about it. I think Ben, who also hasn't announced his favorite England soccer team yet.
I knew you were going to go there, Grady. That's why I wanted you to take this first.
As you get into the world of soccer more and more, you will realize it's a lot more common in the game of soccer that guys do this. And I get what you're saying about, taking that opportunity from someone who's maybe in the country of Nigeria. But I think that those countries are honored and willing to take those types of players on their team in order to maybe represent their country or give their country a bigger spotlight or, win the medals, win the money, whatever the case may be. So, case with Italy, Jorginho is Brazilian.
Right.
Balotelli, same thing. I don't know which country he was actually from, But these guys play there, whether they play there in a league, which, the guys you mentioned don't, or, they are second, third generation. Hey, I would play for the Italy team if I had the opportunity.
I'm not saying anything against Jaleel or anything like that. I'm not saying that he shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, doesn't it kind of make the Olympics then not the Olympics and like another basketball league where seemingly you can join, like the Mike Tobey guy, he's Slovenian, like he has that heritage through his grandparents, but he got a passport a couple months ago. He hasn't been playing with that Slovenian national team for years.
Got you.
And
Ben,
that's my other thing. It's like, why are you taking up a roster spot from somebody? I'm thinking of the people, the little kids in that country, like Nigeria, Slovenia, that grow up, live there, watching these players, work hard at their game, and then they could possibly have a spot taken from them by somebody who doesn't live in that country.
All right, so I'm going to say real quick. First of all, it definitely does occur more often in soccer that I've been learning, and Gravy's right on that. It's all technicalities. You were born there, but you weren't raised there. Your mom was born there, so you went there enough times to grant you citizenship. And I understand that, where it's like, it's a loophole, it's a technicality. It does happen a lot in soccer. Now you're just realizing it on a grander stage. 2, Olympics are money, and that governments are behind it and politicians. I knew you didn't want to go there. Maybe you wanted to bring it up, but that is what you were kind of alluding to. I kind of know now B Wonder's where B Wonder's mind goes when it irks you, but it's true. The Nigerian government, they don't give a bleep whether it's goes to Nigeria or not.
Himself.
I know. I'm trying to be better. Trying to, episode 25, trying to step it up a little bit. But I think there's so much money behind it as well, where I think it's like that kid that wants to play on the Little League team, and I am 12. He's 13 years old, but he plays on the smallest scale. It's been going on, and it probably will. And on the biggest scale, Nigeria wants to make money, and they look at their players like, hey, you're not good as Prince on Miami or Dimwitty or some of these players. So it's like, let them be eligible. It sucks. It's not pure, but guess what? In every sport, I hate to say, as I get older, I'm starting to become that old man. Nothing is pure. Nothing is righteous. It's sports. Everybody's cheating. Everybody's trying to gain an edge. And it fucking sucks that there can only be one champion in anything, because there's got to be a lot of heartache on the other end. That's kind of how I sum it up in a non-emotional way, but I agree with you. It's not right, but it's the world we live in. Everybody's trying to gain that edge,
Yeah, no, I get it. I see it. I'm curious to other people's opinions on it. And it's definitely, once you learn about all the stuff, and then you understand that each country has their own rules. So some countries you actually have to hold citizenship to be on the team. Mm-hmm. Other countries, you don't. You just have to get a passport. And imagine, then it's like then when you understand that, you're like, oh, you're right, Ray. This is about money.
It's about deeper.
Money. Yeah. It's only about money.
Damn.
So.
Always is.
What about Russia? How they can't? How long did it take you guys to realize that ROC was the Russian team?
Dude,
did you guys are aware of that? Obviously,
I knew that they're banned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that too, but
they still are calling.
First glance, I was like ROC.
Dude,
I was like, huh?
They still. I ranted to Emily about this. It's like the Olympics are the dumbest. I mean, it's just.
I know. It's the end. It's everything Ben doesn't value in organized.
It's
anything.
It's not a punishment. It's not a punishment. You are still allowing them to be there. It's not like they're actually saying the people's names. They're saying their names, and then they're saying from the what's it called, the Olympic Committee of Russia, the Russian Olympic Committee. So there still says Russia in it. It still says Russia in it.
I know, dude. So, it's all a slap.
It's
what
just
about
like,
when Okay.
Like, don't even ban them then. I agree. It has nothing to do with these athletes. So don't punish them for it. But what you're doing is stupid. You know, what they're doing is stupid, saying that Russia's banned. No, they're not. They're all there. They're all there. It's fine.
What happened to Man
No one
City
gives a
when they got that ban that everybody went crazy over a couple of years ago? Didn't you guys get banned just for like reversed. Oh, it got reversed. That's what. So I think so.
Wait,
I mean, we could go into it. Why did they get banned?
Money.
What did they do?
We got the oil people backing us, baby.
Well, what did they do? Just say what they did.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I think it was something like, was it fixing a game?
No.
Okay, it wasn't a fixing a game.
That's not a bias, but no.
Okay, no. I know it was something more severe than what they got, and it was like a when they got it. Like,
sure
all right,
financial stuff.
Yeah, basically got away with getting either the best players and got a slap on the wrist, and it was all a formality because, you know, the FIFA organization's all corrupt and the Olympic Committee's all corrupt. Look at we talked about it with what is it in Qatar, the Euros, and they can't even play it in the summer because they have to play it in the winter. Why even have it at Qatar? Money. Like it always goes back to that, and it sucks that every time we have an issue on this podcast, we know how to break it down and feel heartfelt, and then we always, you know, can do the M word, and it always comes down.
I just want to bring that up.
I'm interested to see the type of players that are going to play in that World Cup because the seasons run through the winter.
Yeah, I don't know how they're even going to schedule that.
So they're going to have a long holiday break.
Speaking of that,
that's what it's going to be.
26, I will reveal my soccer team.
Oh shit!
Oh,
about my
26. Is that confirmed, or are you just saying it because you're live?
No, it's confirmed. I got my gear.
Episode. I got my gear. I forgot it was coming to the mail, right? Are you gonna do like just one sneak peek? Are you gonna do like 3 hats and then take one away and then like fake it and throw it away? And then...
Not doing a hat thing, because the one thing I did find out is soccer teams don't really appreciate hats, so a lot of them don't even sell them.
They don't make they don't make many different types.
So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna wear something and then, you know, I might break away. I might have a breakaway session, you know, just live, just stand up and rip it off. Who knows? But yeah, I'm ready to go.
Love it. Anything to add about random soccer? I know women's handball was the talk of the week in some group chats. I thought handball, if anybody's seen sport. Did you not see those highlights? I was drawn in last night when I seen them. I was like, how do you block anything? It's like dodgeball, but like with goals. It's like why don't kids play this in elementary school? I would have loved to play that. I think we did it. I don't think it was called handball. I thought it
from New York.
Yeah, we played something like that, but I don't think it was called handball. Gravy. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but that sport's fun. I don't know if you guys seen 3-on-3 school, NBA,
I like watching
basketball school,
Olympics, just because like everybody's so good at everything,
right?
Even dude, did you see the speedwalkers?
Yeah,
no, I
saw
didn't.
A little clip of it.
Did you see the speedwalkers? And the way they walk?
But you can never have 2 feet in the air at the same time.
And they're like flipping their butts like this.
Don't you guys feel a little bit when you're watching some of these sports you've never seen before, or maybe a little bit, you feel like I could do that if I really
definitely
a little bit, like not all of them, but there are a couple of them where you go, I feel like if I focus enough, I could do that.
Ray, these guys.
I'm talking out of my ass. I get it.
Okay, we walk fast. These people
are
moving, and they're doing like marathon distances.
I'm gonna put it on right now. Hold on.
It's crazy.
Am I gonna laugh if I put it on?
I saw like the women's like archery, dude.
Yeah,
those ladies.
That's a different type of skill. Yeah, that's different.
They're like 200 yards away. They're like, bloop, like that, and then you see the trajectory, and then it's like right in the middle of the fucking bullseye, and you're like, what,
bro?
Dude, if there were any deer anywhere in Japan watching, they were immediately getting on a ship, getting the fuck out of there with those people in town.
I have something random to say.
What is it called? Walkers, by the way. I'm looking it up.
Speedwalkers.
Speedwalkers. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Just keep talking for a second. I need to look for it.
I'm looking up speed walking. You look up YouTube speed. Oh, okay. I know what it is. They do move. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude, they're moving.
How do you even train for that? Do you just walk around your neighborhood as fast as possible?
I'm on the Rio
I don't know.
2016 right now.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's wild.
It's like those people that
Yeah.
practice around the mall. You know, when you go to the mall right when it opens and you're like, why the fuck am I at the mall at 10:01 a.m.?
Yep.
Then you got those old ladies like speed walking
Dude,
around
yep.
doing laps.
Used to
That's
run
exactly what they
finish
do. They're just really good at what they do. They
Yeah.
you know, they be lapping
Okay,
you when you're doing
I'm
it.
ready to share now.
Good.
Okay.
So I'm watching the Mets game on my side screen over here, and we have this guy. Our injury issue is well documented this year by me. Okay, so we had a bullpen game yesterday. Today we had no starter. So Jared Eichhoff, is I think how you say his last name, is pitching for us. So I'm just going. My thought is this guy pitching knowing like it's 6-0 in 3 innings? Okay, he's given up a 2-run home run in every single inning. Is he on that mound? Like I'm like they're cutting me after this game.
Probably.
Like how
Yeah,
like
most likely.
that is insane.
Yeah.
So May 4th, he got assigned to AAA. June 20th, he got brought up to the big leagues. June 29th, he got designated for assignment, so basically released. If a team doesn't pick you up, you go back to AAA. July 3rd, signed to AAA. July 3rd, he elected free agency, but then re-signed with the team. So back to AAA. July 11th, up to the big leagues. July 20th, designated for assignment. July 24th, free agency. July 25th, signed a minor league contract back with AAA.
This guy is ass.
July 27th, they picked him back up, which is today, obviously, and he's pitching tonight. Has given up 6 runs in 3 innings.
He's
He's
not
on the
making
way
an
out
Olympic
after.
roster.
If
Like,
I were
props to
his
him for still
parents-
sticking with it.
Yeah, if I were his parents, I'd say you got 2 choices here, son. You're either going to go to AA ball and just play there and have a nice career in whatever small ass town that you're going to live in, or you're going to need to find a different job because you're clearly not making it.
Fucking Wednesday
Or
night
maybe
softball.
go play for the Diamondbacks. They might need people.
I mean,
Guys,
it's a weird
speed walking is
situation.
Amazing.
Just being walking.
Dude, Ray's starting to train for 2028 or
Dude,
2024.
I'm
That's
watching
the
it.
real reason he went to Puerto Rico.
I'm watching it, trying to
Yep.
figure out how are they not running at some point? Like what is the start of running and what is this end of speed walking? Like
I think
they're
I think-
running, bro. They're moving.
I think Nick was right. They have to have some part of their foot on the ground at all times.
Mhm.
Like it can't leave.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
very
Around
straight
fully.
legged. They're very straight
And they
legged.
have
Yeah.
people
Where-
watching them the whole time.
Oh,
And
is that
yep.
is they could
Yep.
disqualify him like
Oh, they
that?
get disqualified like that. Yep.
Yeah, see,
And-
I don't wow.
And I think it has, they move their hips like that. I think some way
Yeah.
to help with. I mean, it's just
Just fucking
Wow.
it looks so odd.
So
It's
you know what sucks out of all this? They're doing all
Yeah.
that, and I'm gonna go back to what I said last week. They have to go and sleep on a cardboard fucking bed.
it's
Right?
true.
I'd be so mad.
Bro, I'm looking at this and I'm like, everybody, all 4 of us have done this on the way to the bathroom when they
Oh,
like
exactly.
all of a sudden when
Yep.
your lips touch your coffee for the first time and you're like, well, this is it.
Yep.
Yep,
I
right
know.
after that Dunkin' Donuts caramelized latte every time.
Yep.
That's your beverage of choice in the morning.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm more of a homebody coffee maker. Ben, are you more of a homebody coffee drinker? You feel like it?
I just drink coffee at home. Personally, I don't like coffee, but I just drink it because it helps wake me up in the morning.
Yeah.
And I just
It's like
I like it black.
like people in liquor. People in liquor. It's like I don't like this stuff. I just do it. 'cause
So
it
does
makes
Kim
me
K.
feel decent.
Listen. See, I don't like coffee either, so I get the caramel iced latte with extra caramel and either
Yeah.
whole milk or skim milk.
Yeah, I
extra
can't do the
latte.
sweet stuff.
Yeah.
I like my shit rough.
Hey
Black.
yo. Yeah, I just drink my coffee black. Maybe I add a little bit of
Boy, be
shit
having
in
the
there,
cafecito shots.
Yeah. That coffee wakes you up.
Let's see. So yeah. So Olympics. Oh, Simone Biles, real quick. I wanted to just touch on that. That was a topic in the Olympics that kind of just broke today, where Kyrie Irving kind of did that last year. Obviously, Kyrie Irving doesn't have the best track record to be the pioneer of PTO with mental health. And then Naomi Osaka, who has a great documentary on Netflix. I watched it on the way to Puerto Rico. Oh my God. And I think it was one of two, or is it a couple? Because I only watched. Okay, two. I watched the first one. Wow, bro. It really, it's not so much the documentary, just knowing her as a person. Like, first 10 minutes in, you just fall in love with her. Like, she's like a beautiful soul. And you get to know, and I gotta watch the second one, but man, it's like you're at that point, you understand, watching her for 5, 10, 15 minutes, getting into her personality and kind of how she goes about things, how shy she is, and how she's on a global scale. But Simone Biles, who is on the biggest scale of them all, and doesn't know silver, only knows gold. And ironically, today she withdrew from the team, and the team competitions, and they got silver today. So just quick feedback on that when that happened. Obviously, another big time American athlete. I mean, I'm sure there's international athletes, but we'll be biased to ourselves. It tends to be American athletes right now that are coming out and talking about it. Not sure if there's more international that aren't talking about it. I'm sure there are, but we've only seen American athletes do it. Could it be something with us, the way we go about things, or what?
I think it's magnified because we have probably, if not the biggest fan base, but the most attention towards it. And we're American, so people want to see how we do. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about this mental health issues with when we were talking about Osaka. So I think the same thing applies to her. Hey, great self-awareness. More power to you. Step away if you feel you need to. She may feel like she has the world on her shoulders, and in a sense she does. She is the GOAT of that sport, especially Olympic time. So hey, you have the gold medals. You don't need to prove anything else. If you need to take your time and get right, hey, she's still in the solo competitions as of now. So hopefully she wins those. I'm sure she will. It is what it is, Stop. Let people deal with how they need to deal with things their own way. No one needs to judge and give their 2 cents because we don't give a shit.
None of us or anybody that talks on Twitter, the most toxic place on earth, can understand or know what it's like to be her in her shoes and be the best at what you do and have the constant, I assume, I can only imagine the constant pressure that is on her every single day. You just think about your own life and the things you go through and the pressure that you go through. And then if you think about who we are, we're nobodies compared to her. I mean, so anybody making a deal out of it, if this is what she feels is best for her, it's what she feels is best for her. If she needs to step away and didn't feel like her continuing to compete would put her team in the right place to, for them to succeed and somebody else step in, that's fine. Remember, Michael Jordan stepped away for, and let's be honest, whatever, take a little mental break from his dad dying, or it could have been gambling. You never know. But hey,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm shout out to her. I saw like right before we started doing this that there is a chance she might come back. I don't know, but I'm not hating on her. More power to her.
Anything to add for it?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this topic back and forth while I was taking a shower because I knew we would touch about this, and just kind of like playing both parts of it, thinking, putting myself in her shoes and putting myself in like other people's shoes as well. Like you said, Ben, I mean, I can't imagine or even start to think about the pressure that she's going through being an Olympic athlete. Like, you train for these moments your whole life. Granted, she already has those goals, but you always want to add more. You always want more to your collection. Yeah, Twitter is terrible. I mean, who knows what she's getting, and I see it all the time. I mean, I have said stuff that I shouldn't have to pro athletes or
He freeze?
If he didn't freeze, then he is winning the best game of
Of
Be Still.
of what? A
I'm gonna
freeze
keep it a buck.
tag?
No,
gonna
no
keep it a
joke. He
buck.
looks like he's in a cartoon right now.
I'm gonna keep
He's
it a
probably
buck. No idea what was said there.
Yeah.
Right. I was watching Javi Baez
I gotta
and
be
Amir
honest.
Garrett yell at each other.
The still photo of him is making me uncomfortable. I can't look at it.
No, I love it. I mean,
Can you not hear me?
Fort when he's clean shaven is not a bad looking kid.
I like it. Oh,
Oh, he
he
left.
dropped.
He'll be back.
All right,
Must
have
hold,
Century
Link.
hold on a second.
Must
Can you
have
hear me?
CenturyLink. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking to me.
No, we're talking about
We're
Fort.
talking to Fort.
Well, for the watching audience, you guys know he just froze, and he'll be back on. For the listening
Damn.
audience, he froze midway in his take, and he'll be back in no time.
Hey, that's
Anything
what
to
happens
add?
when you
Or,
take your internet from your neighbors, guys.
yeah, right. I was gonna say when you split wires, that's funny. All right, so we'll end it on Simone Biles. Obviously, is TBD for her singles run. And then the only other sports really thing I had, we'll cover Usman and Covington when he comes back, just for him to talk about that. But NBA draft this Thursday, trades are happening. Are you Ben? He's a Chicago Bulls fan. Gravy's a Knicks fan. I'm a Nets fan. Fort is a Miami Heat fan. For people that kind of don't know about us, but Ben, do you see any Chicago worthy in the draft? Do you see them doing
We
anything,
don't,
stepping up, making
We don't get
trades?
to keep our pick. Our pick goes
Okay.
to the Magic.
Orlando. Yep. Okay.
Yep. And so I'm hoping they can try to work something out to get in. It'd be great to get in to first round to get something, but I doubt we will. So it'd be probably a light day for us. Second round, maybe.
You got some young talent, though. You got some young talent. As long as you have picks in the future and you have young guys that people want or can develop, which I think you guys do. You guys are you're always a threat to make a trade, whether it's
Well, the problem
whether
is
it's
we don't have
tier
picks
one.
anymore.
Who did you trade it to?
To get what's his face? Damn it.
Vooch.
I think we gave
Oh
up
yeah, my bad.
this
You're
year's
right. I
and
forgot
next
about
year's.
that. I forgot about that. Yeah,
So
that's unfortunate. Damn it. Yeah, because
Chicago sports for you.
but they might
Yep.
know something. Hopefully.
Dude,
I mean,
Sorry.
dark day.
like you know what it is about
Blackhawks have been
Vooch?
unloading.
You know what it is about
they just
Vooch
got
when you're
Fleury.
building a team like.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. When you're building a team like that, it just like we know what Vooch is at this point, so it sucks
Yep.
because you can't pretend and act like wait, we got something here. It's like you kind of know what Zach LaVine is gonna be. Is he's an all-star in that, and then damn, that's unfortunate because I thought you guys could move some pieces around.
I mean, we still have young people, but we're definitely not in a compete now stage at all.
Yeah.
If we're going to try to build around Zach LaVine in the future there, I mean, we need a point guard, like bad. And in my opinion, I really like a veteran big guy down low as well, but I don't know who we can get there. I don't know. But
What about the always on the move New York Knickerbockers?
I've read that we were trying to package our 19 and 21 picks for something earlier, like in the early teens. We'll see. We got 4 picks, I believe, so I could see why they want to, package some picks together and move up. We don't really need to have 4 rookies on the roster. We'll see what happens. I don't know if we trade up. I want, Kispert, I think his name is, from Gonzaga. There's another guy. I don't know how to say his last name, but Book Knight from UConn. I think we target guys like that. If we do stay at 19 and 21, I like Sharif Cooper and Cameron Thomas from LSU. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool. And for just to get you up, we just leading into the NBA draft. Ben talked about the Chicago Bulls a little bit. Gravy just did the Knicks. Anything that you see the Miami Heat drafting or moving up, moving out, trading.
Yeah, baby, we doing everything. We getting Lillard, we getting Giannis, we getting Kyrie, we getting KD, we getting half the Olympic team. Like,
you sound like a
Nah.
true Miami Heat fan. There you go. Yeah,
Tyler
baby,
Hero's new
we're doing
baby.
everything.
Yeah, baby. I really don't know what they're gonna do. Moves definitely need to be made. Getting swept after making the finals is not a good look. But yeah, they need to do something. We need a point guard. We'll see how that goes. But I don't know. Pat Riley needs to figure out what he's gonna do and finally land a whale, because that's been talks like that for the last 5 years. And I mean, besides Jimmy Butler, there hasn't been much going on. So team's only getting older.
Yep.
Get Tyler here the fuck out of here too.
Oh, damn. Already?
That's
This dude,
been quick.
2 years and he's gone. You don't want to see what happens
No.
here
That-
to me.
You
Maybe
don't
his baby,
care about his
maybe his
child?
baby will motivate him.
Yeah, you don't care about his child's well-being? Damn.
Ray, what's up with the
That
Nets?
remind me of harsh.
Hey, he's still an NBA player, so he'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll get. They're both doing pretty well for themselves, I guess. They got 6 figures. As far as the Nets, I think we have the most picks that we have. This is the last year. I think we have the most picks. We have a late first. I don't, obviously, with the money that we'll have to give to our big three this year in extensions, I think we just kind of do the Golden State Warriors, LA Lakers vibe, where it's just like keep your core 2 or 3 with some role players, and then just continue to develop young players that don't cost anything more than $2 million and sign some vets. So I think Green, he's going to be a free agent. He's probably not going to resign. He might want some more money. Bruce Brown is a guy that I would love to resign, but obviously he did so well in his role that other teams see value in that. So I think we just trade out of the first round, get some veterans, get some guys that don't cost like what we did this year, and just kind of do that for the next 5 years. And I wouldn't say it's the downfall yet, obviously.
No, not you guys.
oh.
I mean, the downfall of getting those guys cheap, them playing well in those roles, and then you kind of aren't able to re-sign. But
I'll be honest, Gravy, for years, and kind of we both share this in a way because you paid attention to the Nets and I pay attention to the Knicks always. So we kind of have that. We don't root for each other, but we at least know what we have going on. I haven't had really first round draft picks to be excited for. I haven't had a top 15 or 20 in the last 8 years. So I don't even know what it feels like to get excited for a first round draft pick after a bad season. So I've kind of numb to it throughout the years that we've been bad and then had playoff runs. So I'm just keep the core 3 guys together and then build off that for the next 3 years. And whatever happens, happens. You know, I'm fortunate to have the team I have, like I'll say. And, you know, I guess if we don't win this year or next year, then you'll start hearing a different opinion. But till then, we'll see. It's we got some years left.
yeah,
I was gonna say,
I
if you
feel
want to
that
know what,
on the reverse. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, don't say sorry. Go ahead.
I feel that in a reverse way, as obviously the Knicks are always having a top 10 pick, to where now we're picking 19 and 21. I'm like, damn, I really got to do research on these guys and see who we're getting. You know, it's not like the top 10 biggest names where they're always featured on ESPN or other platforms. So,
but that's where you find a guy, dude. That's where I'm telling you the BAMs are. I mean, he was drafted, I think, 14th, but like Jared Allen for us, Karis LeVert, like I only know guys that were 20 and up, and we drafted some studs. You got to have a really good GM. You got to, I'm learning drafting is so key. And we've seen it with the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City Thunder, where drafting is so key, whether you're really great or really bad. You really like drafting. Every selection you make is key. And there's some teams that are really bad at it. And no offense, but the Knicks have been not great. Timberwolves have not been great at that. Chicago Bulls, you could throw that in, Orlando Magic, and that players get hurt or they don't, you know, make it to what they should be. So,
yeah. I was gonna say, if we wanted to know what it's like to get excited for top, you know, lottery picks, we should. Anybody know any Cleveland Cavaliers fans? We could ask them.
True. Yeah, true.
They've had
He
several
knows all
years,
about
several over the past 10 years.
And they have a lot of luck with that too, because they get a
Right.
lot. I think they have the most top 3 picks and top overall pick and then top 3 picks of all time. So
How many are on that team still?
None.
they've gone
Thanks.
3 cycles over since.
None.
Yeah, they've 100%,
Yeah.
and they've all
Now
been in
they're-
the last 10 years too.
now they're
That's
Guardians
Anthony
fans.
Bennett. Y'all remember Anthony Bennett?
One-time Brooklyn Net.
Is that guy in the league anymore?
No.
He plays overseas.
Yeah, the Nets were the last team, or like when he went to maybe Toronto for like a week. But as far as sports, that's all I got. Do you wanna let's jump into a couple segments? Because are you still jumping ship soon, Ben?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Don't want to air you out.
Some plans. I got some plans with my wife on our anniversary. So, but I did want to say,
how many minutes do we have you for right now?
3. But I was gonna say, if for Gravy's top 5, I could throw out my top 5 right now if you want to.
Yeah, we could just do that now.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. God.
Do you want to say your top 5 then, so we know what it is, and then I'll go first?
No, you guys go. You go first. You go first. They'll go, and then we're good. We're good. That's how we'll break it down to when we get to the other topics.
Let's do it.
Just recap what the top 5 is, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The top 5 is training camp has started today for, I believe, most teams, majority of the teams. Guys are going in for the physical, stuff like that. So the top 5 tonight is top 5 players you're most intrigued to see, whether it's beginning of the season or, just to see how they do during training camp.
Yes. And I'll just say we should post these too, because I've got a lot of feedback that some of our fans want to interact with these. But
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
He asked, so hey, you guys can get mad at me all you want, but these are my top 5. And so some of them may be all segregated to one singular team. But kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass.
First one, I'm excited to see what Pat Mahomes does. I want to see if he responds after losing the Super Bowl, see if he comes out and just, tries to fire up. Then I'm just going to get into the meat and potatoes, guys. Justin Fields. I'm super excited as a documented Bears fan. I want to see what Justin Fields can do. I try not to pay attention to all the Bears blogs, Twitter channel pages I follow where they're like, oh, he looks great, this and that. All Bears fans out there, don't get sucked into this. Be patient and just let's not do this. Then got to stick with the Bears. David Montgomery. I want to see what he can do this year. Had a little slow start last year, then came on towards the end of the year. And then Matt Nagy's been very vocal. He's getting 20 touches a game at minimum. So I think if he continues what he did towards the end of last year, he's going to have a good year. So I'm excited for David Montgomery. Another Bear. Don't even want to see you smile, Nick. Eddie Jackson. I want after his, 2019 season last year, didn't have a bad year, but he didn't have like the year I think it was expected of him. And I think he knows of that, and he's coming out there with some vengeance this year and is going to try to shut all his haters up. So I'm excited to see what Eddie does. And then last but not least, for me personally, I want to see non-Bear. This is, could be against my religion, but I do want to see what Aaron Rodgers does.
Let's go. I knew you were going to say it.
In his last year as a Green Bay Packer. In his last year as a Green Bay Packer. I want to see what he does. I don't want him to make the playoffs. I don't want him to win the division, but I hope he has a good year. So,
all right. On that note, before you go, anything else you want to add, wrap up for your segment on episode 25?
Nope. Just, love you guys. Glad we're all back here. Shout out to my wife. Our anniversary's today, so that's why I'm going to dip out and go hang out with her a bit.
Sounds good, brother.
Hey, so congratulations, pal.
Congratulations.
Right.
For real.
Congratulations on the
It's only 2 years, man. It's 2 years.
On the 2 years of sex.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do it before marriage, obviously. Duh.
Well.
Look at him blushing. All right, you can go.
Peace, boys.
Oh man, it's funny.
All right, so that's Ben's 5. Anybody want to go next? Gravy, go last.
I'll go.
Okay.
I had a lot of rookies on my list. I kind of wanted just to keep it rookies because I am excited for this rookie class. Granted, I'm not a Jaguars fan, but I live here in Jacksonville, like 15, 20 minutes away from the stadium. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what, Trevor Lawrence does, first overall pick. He's been hyped up for last 3 years, so definitely excited for that with Urban Meyer. I'm excited to see what Travis Etienne is going to do as well. Super fast guy. Just excited for that team, and Jacksonville's crazy, so I'm definitely going to look forward to going to a few games.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see what Jamar Chase does. Super high pick for his position, going back with his college quarterback, so that should be fun. Cincinnati's a shithole though, so I don't know what they're gonna do. Shout out to the Giants. I'm excited for Kadarius Toney. I saw him play live. He's nasty. He's super elusive, and he's gonna add to your offense. So I'm excited for that. And then I kind of had like a little toss up. I always got to do this with the top 5. Greg Rousseau, super biased because he went to UM and he missed a season for COVID and whatnot. So Bill's got a steal there. And then just Julio Jones too. New team, fresh, change of scenery. So we'll see. Those are 6 players I got.
I love it. Either 4 or 6.
Always got to switch it up.
I love it.
That never does it the correct way.
Mine real quick, top 5 would be 2. The first 5 are Saquon and DJ. Daniel Jones. I think Saquon coming back. Obviously, he's a big part of the Giants' defense, which I'm a fan of, and so is Gravy. He's kind of not everything, but we've seen the year and a half that we didn't have him with a young quarterback. Man, he could be a breath of fresh air for Daniel Jones. And then Daniel Jones, year 3, let's figure him out. Let's figure out if we have a franchise quarterback. I think we did this to Eli in his first years, and he proved himself and came up with some big wins. Even if he didn't make the playoffs, he showed he could be competent as a quarterback. Number 3 is in our division, Dak Prescott. I'm going to be watching Hard Knocks. I love Hard Knocks. I love the ins and outs of of NFL teams, what they go through individually and as a team. And then obviously it's within our division. And I don't think Philly's a threat. I don't think Washington's a threat. So I would think Dallas would be our biggest. And I want to kind of see how he performs and if he's back healthy. Cam Newton, number 4, no particular order, but Cam Newton, I think the game's exciting when he's playing, especially on a team like the Patriots. It creates a great dynamic of, do you root for them or do you root against them? And that's kind of a week basis based on who they're playing and kind of if you're biased. But number 5, I just added. I actually crossed out OBJ because I kind of there's a lot to be said there, and I've said so much in group chats over the year or 2 about him. He was my most beloved player in New York, and now he's my least player in the whole NFL. But I crossed him out, and I put Lance from the 49ers because I think that would be an interesting dynamic with him and what's his name? Joey, right? Joe?
Garoppolo.
Yeah. Garoppolo. Jimmy
G.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking
Jimmy
Joe.
G.
I'm watching. Yeah, they're showing fucking yeah. So yeah, I think that would be a great dynamic just to see how they drafted him and kind of, it's supposed to be a year or 2 maybe, but I don't think it will be. And NFL teams want to cut their losses when they can and move on as fast as possible so they don't hinder the growth of another quarterback. So to kind of see his growth in the first minicamp, which he'll be hungry, man. And I think he gets the job. That's my top 5.
Cool. I like them. I have some similar ones. I did struggle with this list. I kind of tried to put a lot of thought into it and kind of either 1, go through teams, and then 2, just put some guys that I enjoy watching in general. So 5, I do have Odell. I don't care what anyone says. I love Odell. I love
Me too.
when he's healthy. He's top 3, top 5 receiver. Many can argue maybe top 1 or 2. But the big thing is he's got to stay healthy. So I'm interested to see if he can do that. He's 100% ready to go, all clear for the start of training camp. So excited to see that. 4, I have Aaron Rodgers. Big A-Rod fan, like I kept saying, it was hard to see him not being in a Packers uniform. It would be awkward to see him not in a Packers uniform.
Right.
Glad that he came back. I don't know if I could have seen him I can't get over that. It's weird. As weird as seeing Brady in a Bucks jersey.
Yep, exactly.
3, I have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks. Definitely when I'm playing Madden, which is a horrible game, I always have Kyler Murray as my quarterback. So Cardinals kind of went all in this year. Hopefully they don't trade Chandler Jones. If they do, send him to the Giants. They got a lot of weapons on offense this year. So we'll see how he uses those, see how I'm sure Kingsbury will have a lot of, say in that offense and scheme-wise. They have a lot of weapons. So interested to see what the Cardinals do. 2, I have Matt Stafford. Always been a big Matty Ice guy, the real Matty Ice. He doesn't blow 28-3 leads in the Super Bowl. We'll see what's going on. Definitely think him with the Rams is what's Sean McVay is about to make this guy go nuts. So we'll see.
He's about to be like the South Park picture.
Yeah, totally. I definitely think he's underrated.
All over the computer.
Yeah, that guy slings the ball everywhere, and he was with terrible ass Detroit for all those years. Still put up numbers. So we'll see. 1, as Ray had already said, I got Daniel Jones as a Giants fan by his pick. But hey, this is a big year. Got to see if he's our franchise quarterback going forward. If he doesn't perform well, or if he performs the same as he did last year, get him the fuck out. And let's get another quarterback in, an established quarterback, because we got a lot of young guys that are good on light contracts. So we got to make the most of it.
Yeah. One guy I am not excited to see in training camp is Xavier Howard.
He won't be there.
He just requested a trade. I'm all for athletes making their money and doing what they got to do, but pal, you signed a contract. Whether or not you look at it now when you've gotten injured and you feel like your body aches a little bit more when you wake up and you start seeing you're about to be 30 soon, that's on you and your agent, bro. But I mean, it is what it is at this point. I don't really care. Just
yeah. I mean, as a fan, I understand that hurt that I just heard in your voice. He is a top cornerback in the league. I think of course. Be lucky to have him. I get both sides. We don't have to go into it, but I get both sides. 1, you sign the contract. 2, hey, team can turn around and cut you whenever the fuck they want with no penalty.
Real.
So I get it. We'll see what happens.
They better ask for the farm, though. Ask for the whole thing.
Hey, just don't trade him to my division.
Yeah, they could trade him to Houston and give me Deshaun Watson.
Oh boy.
Well, I heard you guys talk about last week on episode 24 that you guys obviously excited about fantasy football coming. I know I do at least 2 to 3 leagues. I'm not sure if I'm going to do less this year just for mental capacity, because I used to do
purposes.
One. Just like sometimes it's a lot, and I'll be honest, and I don't enjoy it as much as I get what I get from it, whether it's all 3 placing 8th place or like 1 winning one. It's just like sometimes it's like less is more. But how many of you guys usually do per season?
1 year I did like 5, but I'm on your path this year. I'm either doing 1 or 2. Not really feeling it this year. Don't want to get off topic, but slowly, steadily climbing that fantasy baseball chart. All right.
I also heard you last week say that it was tough to do baseball, but you're doing very well, my friend.
Yeah,
and
I picked it up.
Gravy. You don't have to tell me. I'm the league manager. This is Escobar season 5.
My guy said I'm the manager.
Yeah, I've watched you. You don't have to tell me. I every time you win or lose, I take notice because I know you know the game. I know you know baseball players.
Once I got the hang of picking up players and dropping players and working out my starters, which was like brand new to me, and letting some personal guys go.
That's all. Dude, that's one of the hardest thing it is to tell people is I understand you're a Cleveland fan, a Florida fan, whatever. It's like you have to know that the difference between the guy that you want to love to succeed and the guy that will succeed, you gotta cut those ties. So once you started doing that, and we talked about it jokingly like a month ago, your team is on, dude. You scored like the most points like in 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm like, there you go. That's all you had to do.
I'm fucking here, boy.
There you go.
Still have like 3 or 4 Mets players on my team, but I'm making it work.
It's funny because since I've become a league manager of my own like fantasy, and I never did football on my own, and baseball this is my first one. It's like I root for the league more than myself. Like I love when because I just love when it's competitive because that makes everybody coming back. And our retention, I think, out of 12 teams is the same 10, and we always have to replace maybe one or two, but it's pretty good. But yeah, you're definitely climbing up the charts, which is amazing. So fantasy football on the rise. What is it? August starts draft. So because already there's 3 games now, not 4 preseason games. So it's gonna be fun to start talking about that on the pod. Maybe we'll start our utility players. Maybe we'll do us 4, maybe 6 more people like friends or family.
Yeah, Gravy said he started a league. Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I deleted it because I kind of messed up on some of the settings. I have to restart it, but that was going into my factoring of how many leagues I was going to do. But if you guys want to do that, I'm down. I got some guys that from Iowa that want to do a league, so we can figure that out.
Oh no, we have to get in a league to at least have us 4. Yeah, that's why I'm like in my head. I'm like, all right. Last year I did 3. I used to do 1 with the office, so that's out. Utility players will replace that one, and then I'll like jump around for
gives us good. We can talk about it all season and
100% bragging rights too.
I try to keep it between like three teams max. Like Gravy said, I've done a season where I have like 5 teams, but I mean that's too much. You try and get the same players on each team some way somehow. It never works out.
Yeah.
And then you got one player on one team that goes off, but then you're facing him in another league. And it's just it's too much back and forth. So I mean, I'm probably gonna keep it like 2, max 3 this year, if anything. So yeah, it's nuts. But I mean, it's a good kind of nuts. Pause.
What I did do last year that was fun with a few buddies. We did an 8-man fan duel, and it was $10 a week. So you saw like instant results. So you pick your roster.
We used to do that with Ortiz.
Yeah, bro. Oh, yeah. That was the first time I did it. And out of 16, well, let's call it 17 regular weeks, I think we only did it like 13, maybe like 14, 15, because we missed a couple. I won like 5 or 6. So if you do the math, you win once, it pays for half the season. You win twice, you profited. So I was able to win like 5 times, and I profited like $300. I made more money in that one than I did in my other 3 ESPN leagues. So that's definitely something that, whether it's $5 or $10, it just makes you feel. It feels like if you win a couple times, which is the odds are in your favor if you choose smart, you can get your money back pretty quickly. Let's jump into Bet the Fort real quick. He's been on fire. 2-1 last week, I believe. Right? Confirm that. My boy's like 60. Yeah, 63% about. Yeah, right. Somebody's gotta keep track. So Bet the Fort this week. What picks do you have? I know, obviously, as we get into the end of summer, we're at dire need for some sport games. So if you get creative with MLS, which he won on the Sounders last week, if you want to do some Olympic games, whatever, it's your segment. You get to pick whatever you want.
I was honestly looking at some of the Olympic like basketball games and shit, but like I don't know much about other countries' basketball and whatnot besides like the overseas players we have here. But pretty good UFC card this weekend. I don't know anyone besides the main card or the main event, Uriah Hall and Strickland. I texted my brother a little bit about it. We saw Uriah Hall here in Jacksonville. He's a monster. So he's the underdog though. He's plus 180, but I'm still taking him over Strickland. Hopefully it's a 2-round, 3-round fight and Hall can get the knockout because as our UFC expert was saying, if it goes farther than that, it might be a little tougher. Baseball, we're about to get into the dog days of August. Taking Giants over the Dodgers, big series. Somehow the Giants are in first place in that division with the Dodgers and the Padres. Padres got better, adding second baseman from the Padres. He leads the league in hits. I don't even know who he is, but leading the league in hits is big. And then tomorrow there's a CONCACAF game, soccer, Mexico and Canada. I am taking Mexico.
It's the Gold Cup, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Mexico, who are they playing?
CONCACAF is over.
That's all.
There's so many.
ESPN and it said CONCACAF. So
there's so many. I think
you
it might be
know more about it than me. So
yeah, it's the Gold Cup.
There's so many.
I'm like 99% sure it's the Gold Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the
right.
gold, because I think what it is the CONCACAF was like the North American sports or Central and North, and then this one is all of
Gold Cup.
America. Yeah, it's wild. It's
so
just so many.
Because you said Mexico and Canada, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing about this tournament, which USA is playing Qatar, I don't know if you said that or not. I was reading.
Yeah.
No.
Qatar is
Oh, they're
only
playing now?
in this tournament because they're hosting the World Cup. So the host country that year can enter any tournament.
Yeah,
Hey,
they automatically make it.
Ben's not here to defend himself. Don't piss him off. He'll hear us and hop back on. No, I'm just kidding.
You're the host country.
Because you know how it had to do with money. Yeah.
So Pat McAfee has been on like, hey, USA, we're entering the fucking Euros when we host the World Cup. But it's so much funnier because he calls them the Europes.
The Europes.
Dude.
That's funny as hell.
Bro, I've listened to Pat McAfee and we've been talking about it more in group chats. He is okay, so Roman Reigns is the greatest in ring thing to happen in WWE in months, if not years. Pat McAfee on the microphone. Oh my goodness. I can't wait.
Getting his flowers.
Bro, this guy is going to make so much money with WWE because he's going to get to the point where he's going to become too big, and Vince McMahon doesn't like that guys get bigger, but he is such a personality. He has charisma. He has like small jokes, inside jokes, like whatever it is. He is just so funny all the time where people on Twitter are like tweeting real things that he says. And I'm just like, he knows nothing about that. He was just kidding, right? Like I saw somebody.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I get fucking hype when we talk Pat McAfee.
I do too. Go ahead.
He says, is Ford alive?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. He said on his show multiple times, he's like, he's kept out of the dark. And like people who are haters are gonna be like, oh, like those are fabricated, like he's acting, but he's not. He doesn't go to any of the meetings. He said, which gives him a little heat backstage. Like they make fun of him and make jokes. Doesn't go to any of the meetings. He just shows up later than everyone else, and goes obviously goes over little notes. So he knows little things, but like he doesn't know any of the storylines like that, or like who's gonna come out. Like he didn't know Xena was coming out. Like and he said, I prefer that because you're gonna get the most authentic version of me. Yeah, and it's gonna be great.
Awesome.
So,
bro, I
freaking love that guy.
I forgot what he said, but somebody tweeted it and like stat checked him, and like I read the tweet and I watched it and I was like, yo, bro, he literally, like, it's sometimes when I say like talk shit to my friends, like I'll say things for a fact and it's like, oh, because I know, but some things I just be saying things just to see if you like listen to me and like are paying attention. And he said something so outlandish the other day and I'm just like, that was obviously a joke. Somebody like tried to like stat check him and I'm like, bro, he's obviously kidding. Like he had no idea what he was talking about. He just likes to sound smart. I like, if you don't know that about that personality, you're like, oh, what is he talking about? But it's like, bro, of course he doesn't know. He's just, he's doing this for fun and he's really good at it than people who actually try to do this stuff. Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's been great. And I hope he continues for a very long time. He's definitely injected some life into that program. I'm watching more. I mean, I always kept up with WWE, maybe more so on Bleacher Report than anything else in like the past few months. But I've been watching every single SmackDown.
Bro, the fact that he calls it SmackDown.
Yeah, that's all. That's Pittsburgh talk.
Rolling Lod.
Yeah,
dude, every time you were saying that the other day, I was dying. I was just like, 'cause that's just a little thing when you're listening to, whether it's, when I listen to play-by-play John Sterling or the quirkiness he does, like it's all about that. 'Cause you visually watch and then obviously, or listen and audibly. And sometimes the little things just make the smallest details better. So
even non-Yankee fans are like going home and making up John Sterling home run calls and shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
they're outlandish. They're so supposed to be. Yeah, they're so supposed to be.
That's his Pittsburgh stuff, though. He does that a lot on his show.
Does he?
They all do that. Yeah.
I've been following him since you mentioned. I literally started following him once we started the podcast because I was aware of him, but I wasn't into him. So the fact that he joined this is, it's amazing. It's fun. Bet the 4-3 picks this week.
Yeah, there's not much stuff going on that I know.
No problem.
I don't
Good.
even know
You're on
much
fire.
about baseball, so
Not betting on the Olympics.
bro, I haven't even watched it. Like,
No,
Yeah, I've been
just-
trying to keep it on the whole day. That's
I've
what
been
that's what you have to
working
do.
and-
You just gotta throw it on. They can like leave it on and then just watch the highlights, the hour loop of highlights.
yeah, I'll probably tune into it eventually. I don't know, maybe down the line, I'll see. But Simone Biles ain't
Right.
in it anymore, so. Yo, you got
Shit's a big-
Kanye in your shirt, bro?
Oh yeah.
First time I seen Kanye all
Do you
week.
think this guy really lives in Mercedes-Benz Superdome?
Nah,
that's
what?
bullshit?
You think he just woke up and went to a game?
No, there's a report. Yeah, that's what they're saying. There's reports that he set up like a living quarters in the arena. So he's been recording his album.
Anything that sounds like outlandish, I nowadays I tend to just reject. So like I probably
I
did
just wait
hear
for
that
things
and
to
just
happen.
But it's
Exactly.
Kanye though. So like I mean he was in
Exactly.
Wyoming in the middle of nowhere for his
why
album.
wouldn't
So
so you're saying like why wouldn't he live underneath
yeah,
the,
why wouldn't he be in there?
the Mercedes-Benz
I mean,
Stadium?
just drop the album, buddy. Like please.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's about time now. Did you
Before we
see
get-
the
I
photographer?
was gonna say
that
let's get to
snuck in?
trending stuff. What photographer that snuck into
Some-
the game
Into-
or Donda?
No,
Oh,
he
yeah,
snuck
yeah.
into the live listening event. He had like his
Nah.
camera, like because I guess he is a photographer, so he has like good cameras and shit. So he had all his cameras set up. He got like a picture of the Donda thing and like cut it up and just like put it on his leg and just straight walked in through everything. They didn't
Yeah.
check him or nothing, and he got some pretty
Wow.
good pictures. Like
Yeah,
it
I always
was,
love watching those stories of guys that do that.
yeah, he's like I had a better seat than Kim K.
And he turns around and shoots, and they're all right there.
Dude.
Oh man.
Let's roll with that. Rolling loud. Have you guys seen any fun things? Obviously, the
Yes,
baby's
Jules got engaged.
Dude. Bro, I don't even know like when they started dating, when they met or whatnot, but like
Yeah.
it was kind of fast. But hey,
Yeah, I can't judge.
love is love.
Yeah, I can't judge.
So no, I've seen a lot of videos. Some of my boys were there, my cousin was there. It definitely seemed like a great event if you want to catch COVID. But yeah, I mean, whoever threw a shoe at the baby is kind of messed up. He dodged
said,
that
who-
shit.
How did he dodge it so quick and then know it was an Adidas and then say the word Adidas? Who threw that goddamn Adidas? And it's funny because that's what I just refer to it
That
as
dusty
an Adidas.
ass Adidas.
It's like is one shoe Adidas and then plural is Adidas.
I've seen a
Makes
few
sense.
tweets about that. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it seemed pretty live. There was a bunch of people there from my sources, but I don't know. They were all like, "You should have stayed." This, and that. But I mean, that's like one of the first like festivals / concerts / like events like big time like that. And I don't know, man. It looked nuts.
Uzi
Look
Vert's
nuts.
still killing it, man. Like years later. I mean,
He's gonna
I'm not-
continue killing it.
I'm into his music just from I guess a foundational, like I'm not super into before mainstream, just kind of his mainstream stuff. And I liked it. But like the fact that I feel like he hasn't come out with much over the last few years that I've listened to, right? That doesn't mean he hasn't come out with hits, but like the fact that he could still rock a stage is pretty dope, at a young age. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I heard Post Malone was out there with no shoes.
Post Malone, man, he's gonna live more lives than we ever could dream of. Like he's
Yeah.
only like what, not even 30, and he's lived 3 lives already, 4 lives, it seems. Guy
Good
just
for him,
keeps
though.
evolving like a Pokemon.
Hey, I just want to say, because I thought of this. Not that we have to shut it down, but I think you could definitely tell this is the first time we were all together in a while, because this might be a 2-hour episode.
Nah, I'm timing it.
All right, cool. That's funny.
It's an hour and a half.
It
I looked
feels
at the
like
clock
it, but hey,
oh shit, we are fucking rambling over here.
All right, so
man,
let me get
episode
my
25.
Yeah, it's a big episode. I love it. No, but that's it. We're about wrapping it up. Let me go on the
Yeah, please
Trending
take that
topics that I
microphone away
have.
from your face.
let Let me go on the trending topics that I have so I could kind of get mine out of the way. I watched Space Jam the other day. I know my nephew was obsessed with it. Obviously, it's his generation, quote unquote, Space Jam. Michael Jordan Space Jam for me. Obsessed with it. Now all of a sudden he wants to play basketball, which I bought him a basketball hoop years ago. Now he wants to play on it. So I don't know if you guys seen it. I enjoyed it. I could definitely see the cheesy quirkiness in it in LeBron as a human being, or what the writers wrote it as. I thought they could have done a better job writing it as far as making it cooler. But hey, you're writing to 5-year-olds, you're writing to 50-year-olds. It's very hard to have the perfect script. Lil Nas X video, seen it, loved it. The whole controversy with, this is my theory on it, and this is my only topic that I have, is for years that Old Town Road was big, a lot of mom and dads loved that song, and they loved that their kids loved it.
Yep.
And guess what? That same person, who he is really, is not who you want your kids listening to, not who I want my kids listening to, because I appreciate who he is. He's genuine, doesn't have a bad ounce of what he's trying to project. He's just trying to be himself. And this guy got crucified and continues to do. So he put out a video. If you haven't seen it, Lil Nas X, and who's the other rapper? Jake.
Is that one with Jack Harlow?
Jack Harlow.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
love it. From a visual standpoint, watch it after we're done, because I want to talk to you about it, or and Gravy if you watch it. But I love the visuals of it. I love the concept. I love the social agenda about it. Gravy, have you seen that video or kind of heard that song at all? Okay. It's kind of I like when society gets pissed off. So like, I'm all for it as long as you're not hurting anybody. But this resonates with me even more, meaning he was somebody that made a great song, and then you guys, America, wanted to paint it something else. And guess what? He's not. So let him be creative. That's all I got to say. Those are my topics for the week.
I'm a big fan of Jack Harlow. I like Jack Harlow. I think he's funny as fuck. He was in some interview and he was like, I like to party. I like to kick it with girls. I like to kick it with dudes. And just like him and Drewski is like one of the funniest combos ever. Like, yeah, just this shit. And he just be going by life. I don't think he's really realized how big he is yet, just like coming from Kentucky and small town and shit like that. So
hopefully he stays like that for a couple more years, because once it goes away, you lose sight of all that.
Yep.
Any topics on your guys' ends before we wrap up?
I think we went over what I had. Covington and Usman, UFC 268 in November.
Finally.
I don't like Colby Covington, so I'll be rooting for Usman.
It's all an act. They're saying Madison Square Garden, maybe. I'm hoping it's in Vegas because it's in November, so I'll be in Vegas for my birthday. Yeah. Nice. So whoever wants to join. Who cares? And I mean, the only thing I can really think of is what we talked about on episode 23 regarding Cuba. All that stuff is still going on, whether you see it on your news feeds, whether you see it, people posting on Instagram or whatnot. It's still going on. Just Cuban government is making it a lot harder, almost impossible for people to share that stuff. So just kind of, and I'm not saying that because I'm Cuban or anything, I'm saying that just because people need to educate themselves on really what's going on. And I also say that to myself. I'm kind of subtweeting myself because I need to do the same thing. But if you can read something that isn't about your daily lives or something that really pertains to you, the more education, the more knowledge you have, it's only going to make you a better person overall, and you'll feel better about yourself. So just learn whatever you want. Pick something for the week and read about it, and just read about what people go through outside of here, or read about something that you don't know about, because that's the only thing you're going to have later on the road.
Agreed. Don't want to forget to give our guy DJ Kuzmo a shout out.
Hey,
he dropped
super interactive fan.
Feeding music for the soul.
Yes, thank you, Gabe, for plugging that.
Cloud. Yeah, no, I listened to a little bit of it.
Yeah, I did too.
One of my boys is a DJ, so whenever guys are putting stuff out, I always like to listen to a little bit. Didn't listen to it all, but I did definitely check out some different parts, and I liked it. So you guys go check that out. It's on his IG page.
Guys, if after doing this podcast and what we talked about the last 25 episodes, I don't know DJ Kuzmo personally, and there's a few others that I talk to probably weekly or daily from the WWE podcast that I listen to. But it's like so genuine and organic when you get people that like, you have mutual interests that are like, hey man, I'm doing this. All right, I'll give it a listen. And then all of a sudden you don't tell that person or follow up with that person, and they listen every single time. And it's like, that's now they're your friend. It's like, I don't know this guy. We grew up in New York, New Jersey. We root for the same teams. We kind of probably have more, but it's like, I don't know him personally. And it's like, I talk to him more than most of my friends now, because that's what it is. And that's the beautiful thing about this podcast. And I appreciate it, is people like that. Is I didn't force him to listen. I listen to him more than anything because he's always on the other podcasts interacting. But thank you, DJ. You're definitely one of the guys like a Feinberg, and we'll be remiss to even mention Feinberg, on this, because he's somebody we wanted to have on the podcast, and we want to do some interviews with people that listen to it weekly, which we will start actually doing that after episode 25, is having people that listen to us be on the podcast. We're definitely going to make that happen. So continue to listen to us, and we want to have you on because there's no point if there's no listeners at the end of the day. So.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely surprised with the people who do listen, weekly or daily, or, even check it out little bits and pieces here and there, and surprised with the people who don't. So it works both ways. So I agree.
Well said. With that, surprised at the people that don't.
That wasn't a shot. That was not a
shot. No. And it's fine. We don't ask people to, I guess our closest friends or family to listen to every episode. Obviously things come up, but support each other as much as you can. That's what we try to do.
Podcasts aren't. Yeah, exactly what I was just about to say. But hey, look, if you don't listen to it, you don't watch it. But if you share it or talk about it, hey, it'll be for someone else. That's cool.
This shit is not for everybody, bro.
Yeah. Absolutely no. I get both ways. We'll never be selfish and be like, oh, if you don't listen to us, die. But hey, maybe.
Man, say he gets both ways.
Hey, do you guys think I should FaceTime Ben at his anniversary dinner and put him on the podcast? Say, hey, we just want to know how things are going.
That's a way to.
I would absolutely not do that. So don't.
I was gonna say, would you rather lose a hand or a foot?
I was gonna say that's a fast way to have Emily not be okay with him being on episode 26.
No. Listen, I'm very tight with the family. They like me more than they like Mandy, so I'm chilling.
All right, well, we're at about 135, 140.
Hand or foot?
On that note.
Hey, those who are listening right now, if you're not sleeping, wake the fuck up.
Would you rather lose a hand or a foot?
Goodbye. This guy out of here. Oh, damn.
So
I turned my head and my face looked like that meme of James Harden when Ron Artest elbowed him.
That was pretty fucking hard too. Jesus. That was an elbow. Queensbridge.
Yeah, it's a Queensbridge elbow.
That wraps up episode 25. We appreciate you guys. This is kind of for the listeners, and we hope to have listeners on as we move forward. More interviews. We do officially have booked this week for next episode, special guest on that has to do with some betting, and I think it'll be an interactive interview, and we'll have some fun for episode 26. But that's it. We appreciate your time, guys. Talk to you next time.
Peace.